Todd Shapiro Show. Canada Laughs. SiriusXM 168.
Brett, you're also doing a ton of stuff with Marks, which keeps you in a good mood. And, you know, it's funny because I have no problem talking about when things are like sponsored bits or whatever. And you know, the truth is this, though. They reached out, and I know you're one of their sort of, you know, Canadian ambassadors, their face to Marks. And I thought it was so neat what they're doing because and I'm very serious about this. Sometimes I don't think dads get the recognition that they deserve for just being, you know, good dads, superhero dads, #superhero dads. And I know you being a father to two now, and me still just the one, how much that goes into, you know, juggling your careers, your marriage, being a good father, traveling lots, but always being there through FaceTime and always making sure when you do have time, you're living in the moment back home and being a great father. How's it going, first off, with you and being a dad?
Well, I mean, I appreciate you saying that so much. And being a dad has been the best journey and the best title that I will ever have in my life. And I'm obviously honored to take care of these two little girls that I've got. Mila is 2. Aria just turned 1.
Wow.
And this Father's Day is going to be extremely special, you know, getting a chance to spend a little bit of extra time with them on a day that it really does matter, I think, for all dads across Canada. So how are things going? Honestly, they couldn't be any better. And my wife and I were looking at each other the other day, and we were really thinking, you know what, maybe, just maybe, we should go try for baby number 3. So that always leads to having babies is very, very fun, and making babies is very, very fun.
Good for you guys. It's interesting because we have the one who's going to be 3 in August, and we have had discussions about having a second one, but there's a lot of stress that is involved in being a parent, and especially, you know, parents who are motivated in terms of working hard and not only just growing a family, but growing, you know, financial wealth and growing and learning and doing things and culture and restaurants. How do you find juggling it all? How do you know, any advice to newer dads out there?
That's the most interesting topic, because I've been talking a lot with my dad about that and other dads that I'm very, very close to. And obviously, you and I kind of sharing this, being in arts and entertainment, and I think being on the go as often as we are, it's difficult to kind of sometimes think about the next few years or the next couple decades as we're very much in the moment. And my dad wanted to remind me that instead of thinking about kids as a real gigantic cost, because everybody knows the stats and the studies that come out that sometimes kids, you know, can cost up to $250,000 from the day they're born to the time that they're, you know, through university. And that's a daunting number to think about. But my dad said, look at me. He said, I just turned 60 and I've got 2 sons I'm extremely proud of. They're both doing very, very well. And he said, you know, look at you, Brett. You're traveling all over the world. He says, I don't really get a chance to see you. I'm not complaining. It is what it is. My other brother, my big brother, Jameson, he works in the city. He's traveling all the time. So my dad says, look, I've got all this life left to live, and I don't have my kids around me. He says it can get quite lonely if you only have 1 or 2 children. And he said, and sometimes that's all you can have, so you've got to cherish it, and it's a blessing. But if you can have more kids, my dad said, have them. Invest in yourself and invest in your future by having more kids.
You know, I actually really, really kind of like that advice, because I'm sadly, I've become such a business guy in my head, is that I do put a monetary value to it a lot of the time. And I don't think that should be the deciding factor whether you have one or not. You always make it work, and especially if you're a good father and good parents, you'll make sure that you provide for those children any way you can. And for those who aren't parents, that's cool too. Like Pete Johansson, we don't no pressure here. Look how quiet he is. Pete is not known for biting his tongue, but he knows that this segment is probably a good opportunity for him to bite his tongue, and I really appreciate him for that. My biggest child right here, Pete Johansson, is so good right now. He's such a good boy. He's going to lean over and smack me.
And I got to say, like, for all of us, right, like, we've all been there, and we have those people who can even be father figures, which is another thing that's very special about Father's Day, is maybe to send a note and maybe drop a text or something like that to the great mentors that you've had, the great male mentors that have kind of like taken you under their wing. I had a manager who was as much like a dad to me when I was first starting in my career. And I took him out for supper yesterday as I spent like 3 hours in Edmonton on my little media tour that I'm on. And I said, this is kind of like a Father's Day dinner for you because you've been a real father figure to me. And that was kind of something that I never really thought about until this year, about paying tribute to a lot of those other people who have been like mentors just as much as my real life dad has been to me.
Yeah, well said. I got one in the building, Joe Thistle, my boss. I'm just saying that.
I was going to say, Todd, I'm not buying you no dinners. Don't get
no, yeah, Bilal. Bilal is kind of like my dad. But no, I'm just kissing my boss's ass, right? Isn't that what you're supposed to do? Yeah, I got him, man. How could he ever can me now? I'm calling him my second father. And Joe's better than my real dad. And tell us, Brett, what's going on with Marks and what are they encouraging? Because I sort of know through the notes, but, in your words, what's going on for this big Father's Day and how they're giving back?
Well, I love what they're doing to integrate the power that all of us dads have in the eyes of our kids. And it's all different and it's all completely subjective to, the impact that you have on your kids' lives. So they're asking everybody, and I love it, they're asking all the kids to draw your superhero dad. So all the qualities that you love in your dad, draw it, and then take a picture of it and post it on your Instagram or Twitter or Facebook or whatever with the hashtag superhero dad. Obviously, tag Marks Canada, tag myself. And what we're doing is we're going to enter all of those dads and those kids into a draw, and we're going to send somebody to the Grey Cup. I'm going to take somebody shopping. We've got a bunch of gift cards that we're going to give away, which is really, really cool. And some of my favorites have been the drawings that haven't necessarily had a cape or a Superman, type of vibe to it. It's been more of like, this is my dad and he drives a tractor. And of course I identify with that. I'm like, yeah, that could be a real superhero. Absolutely. So I've loved all the things I've seen so far.
That's so cool, man. Yeah, including a $500 Marks gift card, in-store shopping experience at Marks with Country Star, they put here. Brett Kissel. I can say it, you can't. Then it's a little self-indulgent and bragging. And 2 round-trip experiences for 2 to attend the CFL Grey Cup. That's a really, it's a really great thing. Now, I mean, if you're looking at all the entries, my kid would probably draw me. Bilal, what's the best superhero that lies down and does nothing on the couch?
Let me think. Is that Groot? Groot. He just says one word and is a tree.
I'm Groot.
Yeah, that's what he says.
I'm essentially an old tree. Hopefully that can still qualify.
Absolutely. And I don't see why not. I think that'd be hilarious. In fact, I really hope that I do get to see that.
That's amazing, Brett. And everything else is good. How's the album? How's the music? Are you touring? What's up? Where are you going to be next?
You know what? Music has been amazing. We've got a bunch of great shows lined up for the summer. I mean, summer in Canada and country music, I think, just obviously goes hand in hand. Mm-hmm. But I'm probably not supposed to say this, but I will because obviously I love your show and you guys have such a great, listening audience. But we're going to be announcing right away the second half of our tour. So we went across Canada once already in the spring. We did over 50 dates, and that became the most extensive tour in Canadian music history, the most back-to-back dates on one tour. We're going to shatter our own record and announce another 50-plus dates in a couple of weeks where we're going right across Canada again. We're calling it the We Were That Song Part 2 of our tour, and it's going to be amazing and a great opportunity for me to also be with my family and bring my little girls and my wife on the road again.
Oh, dude, that's so cool. Yeah, We Were That Song is available, obviously, all over iTunes. Look for Guitars and Gasoline, all different platforms as well. Brett Kissel, such a good Canadian dude, man, really, honestly. You're so candid, you're so real, great family guy, great father. Marks Canada, hashtag superhero dad. Look for Marks on all different platforms, will you? Whether it be your Facebook, your Instagram, your Twitter. Did I forget one? I think I got them all, basically. And please encourage your children to draw pictures of you and how they envision you being that superhero dad. And you can qualify for all those great prizes, including the $500 gift card, a shopping experience at Marks with the one and only Brett Kissel, the country star, and going to the Grey Cup. The opportunity to go down to the CFL's Grey Cup. Man, I'm really happy we did this, and it's nice to get on the show to talk about something good we're giving back to dads, but also just to catch up with a friend. I'm glad everything's going so well for you.
Well, I appreciate you saying that, and I'm glad things seem to be going really, really well for you guys. Obviously, I appreciate the opportunity to be on the show, and I can't wait to see you next time I am in Toronto. I'm actually going to be there later on this week. I'll be there on Father's Day. My wife and my daughters are going to come up, and we're going to make a little trip in Toronto where we're literally just going to hang out. It's one of the great cities in the world, so why not enjoy Father's Day in TO?
All right, well, hit me up, man. It definitely.
I will.
The Todd Shapiro Show, Canada Laughs, SiriusXM 168.